Hey EXPs, it's Jay, your experiential marketing coach. And last week, I provided you guys with part one of how to effectively manage and become a great leader as an EXP. If you haven't already, make sure you go back and watch that video. Today, I'm going to be finishing up my series with part two of how to ensure that you're able to effectively manage and become a great manager as a experiential marketing professional. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button to receive insight as well as alerts on any future videos, because I'm going to be making a lot that I'll be posting on my YouTube channel. So let me go ahead and jump right into it and finish up this topic with my first tip. First thing, you got to always make sure that you do and learn how to do as a manager is that you work and you identify the various personalities that you may have on site. When you are managing a program, whether you're serving as a tour manager or an in-market manager, you're going to have EXPs, brand ambassadors, team leads, or product specialists, which will have different personalities. And for myself, on my current tour, I train all the brand ambassadors as soon as they arrive on site. One thing that I always ask and I always communicate and relate to them early on before I start training is, number one, I understand you guys all have different personalities. You may be better at engaging with consumers. You may be the crowd gatherer and the EXP who's great at bringing consumers into the footprint. If this is you, whether you are great at any one of these positions, please communicate this to me early on and I will place you in the best position or in the best place for you to excel. So as a manager, it's important to identify, the different personalities that you may have working on an event site with you. If an EXP is great at engaging with consumers, put them in a high traffic area where they will be able to engage with those individuals as well. It may be a registration area or an area which requires a lot of talking. Make sure that EXP is placed in a position to excel. Also, if you have an introvert, an EXP who is not as a great people person or may not do well with big crowds, then putting them in positions where they will not be required as much to engage with consumers, or they can just learn one or two key talking points that they can convey adequately throughout the event is essential. So learning the personalities of the different EXPs that you have on site is key. I'm here to tell you, you cannot please everybody. So it is not your job to make sure that everybody is happy and everybody loves what they're doing. If you are encountering issues, especially personality issues with EXPs, they're coming on site with an entitlement mentality, they don't want to be a team player, then that's something you may have to address with the staffing agency or the account manager and have them replaced immediately. Because the last thing you want is an EXP on site creating a negative environment for other EXPs and for consumers. So definitely, keep in mind the various personalities that you will be managing as a manager, but also you can't please everybody. So you have to do what's going to be in the best interest of the actual event, the client, the brand, as well as the experiential marketing or staffing agency. Tip number two, you have to make sure that you keep the logistics and the health of your team while on site a top priority. Prime example, we're here currently in Phoenix, Arizona, where the temperatures during our activation are topping out well over 100 degrees. So for myself, as well as T and the production manager, while we're on site executing our events, it's important that we make sure that the team stays hydrated, that we address any issues with the footprint, whether it's a tent or whether making sure that the EXPs have adequate shade to ensure that they will be comfortable and that they will stay hydrated and have the energy to sustain a long activation. As a tour manager, regional production manager, these are factors that you always have to keep in mind when you are, managing a team, and that when you are managing a team and that you are working to ensure that you are able to bring the best out of your EXPs. And it's also important that you have a plan B in place. So in the event that a health issue occurs with the EXP, or they have to leave for a family emergency, or quite frankly, they are just doing a poor job at engaging with consumers and they don't want to be there, you have to make sure that you have a floater, a backup, or you're able to communicate this information to the account manager or staffing coordinator so that they could source a replacement for you as soon as possible. And lastly, you always want to make sure at the conclusion of any event that you're managing that you have a wrap-up meeting with your team. This will assist you and assist the team in being able to communicate and identify any areas of concern that they had throughout the activation, any areas of improvement that you can implement for the next event. And also, this will allow your team to feel like they were a part of the activation and allow them the opportunity to provide you with any constructive criticism that could help you become a better manager. Now, as a manager, you have to, let me say this. There's a difference between being a great manager and a great leader. And I'm going to provide you guys with a checklist at the end of this video that you can implement to assist that you are able to identify those characteristics. But in order to be a great leader and a great manager, because you need to have a combination of both, it's important that you're able to take constructive criticism from your team. You may not like some of the things that they convey to you, or how they feel that you properly manage or handled a certain situation, but you have to give your team the opportunity to voice their opinions, and you have to take it all in with open ears and be willing and able to adjust and make changes as needed. Part of being a great leader is, not only valuing your team, but making everyone else around you better. And in order for you to do so, you have to be willing and able to accept constructive criticism and make improvements where necessary. This will essentially make you a great leader, will gain the respect of other EXPs while you're executing an event. And I could just speak from personal experience. When I establish my expectations early on and I give my team the opportunity to communicate, and chime in and show me areas where we can improve the footprint, there's a greater sense of pride and a greater sense of, initiation and initiative that goes on amongst the team to successfully execute an event. So I'm a firm believer in the fact that you are only as good as the brand ambassador and the team that's executing the event. And in order to have a successful activation, it takes a team effort. So as a manager, always remember, represent yourself accordingly. You're representing the client, you're representing experiential marketing and or staff agency. So you have to be a brand within a brand, as I always state. These are my top tips to assist you in effectively becoming a great manager. Please, please, please take the time to go back and watch part 1 of this video where I break down some more tips as well. And if you haven't already, definitely go ahead and download my checklist. Check out my other resources. Follow me on my social medias, Facebook, join the EXP Elite group on Facebook, Instagram, Jae Davis EXP 101, and make sure you share this video and check out my other resources that I provide on my YouTube channel as well. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. And as always, remember, you are a brand within a brand, so represent yourself accordingly. Later.